We do have a special guest join us for this episode of the podcast. Let me get all the titles right. Hold on.
Get it right.
Investment management expert and music producer, founder and executive chairman of Delta Capital Partners, former deputy director of tourism, group chief executive officer of SSL Growth Equity Limited, former selector, producer, I said that already, board member of Jampo, just get that one there a while ago, justice of the peace as well, JP.
Didn't see that one.
Am I leaving anything out?
No
Sounds
comment.
just about right.
No comment.
Zachary Harding.
Other than still select and ready to kill us all.
See there, all right. Zachary Harding, the building people. There we go. Hold on, let me drop the stadium applause here.
Yay.
Hold on. For the
Why
people
you
of
look
the
for
audience.
it?
Hold on, no, I find it. Ooh, there we go. For the people them who may be just listening to this, the audio files them out there. No, this is not Jeremy Harding. They may sound like it. They are relatives though. They are brothers.
His brother.
His brother is here in the building.
Indeed.
Bless up.
Respect, man. Great to be here, man.
joining
Thanks
us.
a lot.
So we have all the things to talk about. You ready to talk about several things?
Born ready.
All right. First of all, for the people who might not know your story, they might not say, oh, that brother who have on the fix and rated. Him look rich. Tell them of your story, of your involvement in music, you know, from back in the day, or from the early days, I should say.
Sure. So, as kids, our parents sent us to Jamaica School of Music. So, a lot of people wouldn't really know, but we actually started out learning music legitimately. I played drums, I played steel pan, I played trumpet.
I play drums too.
Yeah, man. My brother played keyboard, guitar, flute. So we both sang in the choir, like proper like musician. We used to have a band and stuff. After that now, started having parties as a teenager. Really wanted to get into the craft of DJing because sometimes I wasn't always pleased with like how DJs would play the songs. And I knew what I wanted to hear. So my brother was a DJ in Montreal at the time. He used to play on CKUT radio in Montreal for McGill University. And so I wanted to learn how to DJ. So I started DJing. And then from there, it was just all uphill. I mean, I love music. But in particular, I've just always had a love and a passion for dancehall music.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I listen to other genres and stuff. I mean, I don't really listen to like rock or heavy metal or nothing like that. But like a hip hop, like a R&B, whatever. Tolerate some soca. It has kind of grown on me.
Really?
Yeah, like a fungus though. But,
Wow. Me hate it.
yeah. It's not my
Every
thing.
time it happen to me when me get older.
No, you know what? Just playing music for people and knowing that the girls like it, I kind of just get accustomed to it.
The thing is, I can manage it in like
Yeah,
bits and pieces.
exactly.
Yeah.
And one or two songs are, tolerable.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just always been about reggae and about dancehall in particular. I mean, as a kid growing up, we just had every single Bob Marley album, Peter Tosh album in the house, physical vinyl. And you know what? I just thinking about it, where this soca thing came from. You know that song, Raga Raga Raga? I think it's Red Plastic Bag.
All of them sound like that to me.
I don't know that one.
All right, research it. Basically, it's a Trini guy saying that all dancehall songs sound the same. And so he's mocking dancehall and saying raga raga
Yeah,
raga
right.
raga 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 raga. And when I heard it, I was just like, yo, what is this dude up to? Like, why is he this in the genre? So from then, I just kind of had a thing with soca. But anyway,
Probably that's where RDX got. Daga, 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 daga.
yeah, the same melody.
Could be.
So yeah, just been loving the music since then. Jeremy was in Canada. I was back in Jamaica. I was kind of the guy in the streets playing sound. I was playing football, Major League Football at the time for Shortwood. And so I was always in communities playing music and always meeting people that were like, yo, I'm a DJ, I'm a singer. And I say, you know what, I'd love to play my role in trying to be a part of the industry and trying to get good music out there. Jeremy is like the ace producer, school in music production, etc. So he was falling back to Jamaica and he said, yo, let's try and do something together, partner up. And I said, yeah, let's start a record label because I have artists and you can produce. So he said, no problem, just think of a name. And then when I touch down, then we'll, get it going. So I thought about it, thought was like, Harding Brothers, two Harding Brothers, Too Hard Records.
Yeah.
So that's how the name Too Hard Records came about.
Your brother, the story, involving our music, it very similar to my brother.
Okay.
Me and my brother. It's because him receive actual schooling in music as well. Like me, basically I learned from him how to play drum and everything. And even we had ideas of opening up a production company and all them things. They would just never get around to it. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, it would have been, I'm sure it would have been a big hit because with your sort of take on real aspects of the music and artists and stuff like that. And you keep it real. Like, that's one of the things I respect about the show. Like, there's no going around, you just keep it real.
We try to.
Yeah. And it's necessary because a lot of time people feel like they have to always just say the right thing at the right time rather than just tell the truth, So anyway, we set up the label and built a studio at 8 Jackson Road. And that's where the magic happened. That's where Beenie Man voiced Sim Simmo. That's where Elephant Man voiced Log On. That's where Sean Paul voiced Baby Girl. That's where Vegas voiced Nike. Like, the list goes on and on. All of those songs were produced by Jeremy at 8 Jackson Road.
Were you present for all of those songs?
Most of them, yeah. I was there.
Yeah. What's the most interesting story you can tell us, like from any one of them songs being produced at the time?
So,
I'd be surprised if it's anybody but Elephant Man you talk about.
The year would have been 94 in the studio. Beenie Man was at the studio. King Addies was in the studio. Babyface. And my role was to voice Sim Sim on dub for Addies because Jeremy was like voicing people all day long. And I was at the like apprentice in the studio, learning. So I was like, yeah, man, go on, man. Voice him. I said, you sure? I said, yeah.
What age was this?
Well, I would have been like 18.
18.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm Beenie Man at that time. I mean, it's the absolute peak of his career, right? So he's up at the studio. Addies is there. Addies is like, a sound that I idolize. So I go in the studio, set up everything, check, mic, whatever. Say, yeah, man, all right, DJ, run it. Punch it. Beenie Man voiced the wickedest version of Sim Simmer on dub, other than the version that I have.
Of course.
For Addies, one take. No cutting, no stopping, no start again, no punch, no nothing like that.
One go.
Right? One go, right? And I was like, yo, that's the wickedest dub plate I've ever heard in my life. Take off headphones, rest it on the thing, come around into the studio now to listen back to it and I press play. Silence.
Wow.
Silence.
Jaja, one of them things.
One of them things. Up to now, I don't know what happened. It just never record.
Wow.
And I never Beenie Man turn and say, you see you Harding, you need to learn up the studio thing a little bit. You're not ready for this production thing yet, So you better go and learn it up a little more.
Wow.
I was nearly in tears, literally. So that was devastated.
Embarrassing.
But rose to the occasion and voiced him again. And
was it as good as that first one?
It was not. It was not.
Wow.
Was it one take?
No, it was a couple takes this time. I think
the vibes probably are broke too.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
vibes broke, man. The studio vibes broke. So, yo, Jano, dog, what kind of... And that time, you have to realize we were the first studio to be recording to computer in the Caribbean. So the studio is called Hard Sound because of a hard drive and Harding Brothers recording to a computer. So people would come in there and be like, yo, where's the tape machine? Like, where's the reel to reel? Like, they don't understand. We're like, no, we're recording to computer. To computer. So how you going to get the tape to play it? Right? No, it's on the hard drive. So we were the first, but that's what Jeremy studied overseas. So worse people were confused because then the voice was just like lost in this little box that couldn't play back. But anyway.
And then Beenie probably said that damn hard, that new sit there
Exactly.
when I found new
Exactly.
fuck. What is?
Exactly.
New style.
So taking a break out of this podcast clip to big up our sponsors. Itopia Life Herbos, where cannabis and culture combine for one-of-a-kind experience. Visit them at 10A West Kings House Road, just across from Canadian Embassy. Also, follow them on Instagram at Itopia Life or visit their webpage at itopialife.com for the latest info on strains and merch. We're also bigging up Pure 24, pure natural supplements designed to enhance the body and mind. They make supplements affordable, effective, and easy to use. You can visit their website at pure24store.com. Their products ship worldwide. And you don't know, so you can use that promo code TheFix to get 15% off all purchases. That's promo code TheFix to get 50% off all purchases. The only gummies you'll need for a better life. They work. Trust me. All right, now back to natural proceedings. From there on, what was the next big success you would say from the studio for you guys?
Definitely Sean, Paul. I used to DJ at this place called Raphael's in Ligoni, and Sean was there and he would sing and DJ also. And I knew him through school days, but we weren't really like good brethren like that. But there was a mutual respect, and then we started to collaborate, and I took him up to the studio. And then that's how we started voicing dub plates, Renaissance, Travelers, you know, Addy, Stone Love, HMV, etc. Syndicate, of course, big sound. And we then voiced Baby Girl, right? And that was the first song that really started to like catch people's attention. So I was DJing on the road, so I would travel. I'd go to Miami, I'd go to New York, Atlanta, and I'd physically go. This make me sound like some old man thing, but I'd physically go with the 45s that we would have gone down to Dynamics or Sonics to get pressed, physically put the labels on the records, and I'd travel with that.
No worry, you're not go so much older than Jeremy.
Exactly. And then I'd hand them out. Like we'd go to the dances and play, or go to the radio stations and the promos and hand them out. And then people would see the number on the label, which was a number where Jeremy lived at 8 Jackson Road, and then they'd call. And they'd be like, hey man, this kid Sean Paul, he's really dope. Like we'd love to book him for a show. And then Jeremy would be like, all right, just send like $1,000 and a plane ticket. All right, man, cool. And then that just went from like send 50 grand and like 10 business class tickets. And, you know, Jeremy managed him and they won a bunch of awards together and did really, really well. So
what aspect of the management did you handle?
I was on the ground initially. So I was a street guy. I would have been like the street promoter guy. But I was actually Sean's manager initially. Kimani Robinson, who founded RETV. He and I were brethren from high school. We used to have a party called Groove in the Hills. And that was like one of the first shows that Sean performed at. Wayne Marshall was on the show too, a bunch of other people. Brick and Lace performed on the show. And so I was kind of like the guy in the streets pushing the artists. So that's how it started. But then Jeremy is who really managed him and, you know, carried him to the higher heights.
But if I ask you, what happened with the football career?
Still play, but got injured, tore my ACL, had surgery. It's never the same after ACL injury. But I still play, you know, just for fun with friends and stuff. But
Masters League?
Played Masters League for quite some years too. But yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
Wow, I
actually.
make that as a job. I actually play Masters League,
So ready for Golden League.
Yeah, I want anyone else make the ball do the work. No.
Yeah, man,
of
exactly,
course.
no?
Yeah, I'm 8 play
Knock
against
it off and
on the wise and the smart. Me I try to get this out of you.
Right.
Yeah,
That's over for you now.
Yeah, no. Me I get there.
So you went to Jamaica School of Music and you know you did the DJing thing, but how I want to know like the transition. So you did music, but what else?
All right. What really happened is
sorry to cut you, but like your parents, were they okay with you like being a DJ and
yes and no. I would say initially no, right? So Jeremy kind of set the trend because Jeremy is much smarter than me. He's like academically gifted, like a really smart guy. Was at McGill University doing, you know, chemical engineering and decided that he was leaving after his third year. and he was going to go to Trebas Institute of Recording Arts and do music production. My parents were kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you're at McGill, which is like an Ivy League school basically in Canada. My dad went to McGill. And so they were a little disappointed and we couldn't understand this music thing. Then I thought after that, no, I'm going to do law. So I go to law school. My dad is a lawyer. So they're like really happy.
And then
After a year, I was like,
you go disappoint them too.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this law thing not really working for me at all.
How long were you at law school?
1 year.
Just a year?
Yeah. So if for years 2 and 3, you have to go to Barbados. That's how the campus is set up. And the thought of going to Barbados at the time just didn't really appeal to me. And as I said, I was in the streets, I was having parties and I was promoting and stuff. So I didn't want to leave to go and do that. So I started a marketing company and I would do promotions for other brands and other people. And then did that for a while, but then met the love of my life, wifey, Tamara. Got married at 21. And at that time, it was like, okay, the studio thing, late night thing, bagaman, weed smoking vibes. I can't come home with that. So we had our first child at 21 and I had to get a real job. Now, prior to that, I went to my father and I told him like the law school thing wasn't for me. And I have to give my dad props because most people would think that, you know, he'd have been like upset and disappointed and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Jeremy kind of got that out of the way for me. But my dad said to me, he was like, son, I'd never want you to do something to make somebody else happy. I want you to do whatever makes you happy. But whatever it is that you choose to do, just give it 150%. Be the best at it.
Mono, was it that you saw that it wasn't going to work, you never did feel it, or it was more that you saw that there was this music thing that could really happen for you?
The music thing was more of a passion. I mean, I was interested in music and promoting and entertaining, but I mean, I was 18 years old at the time. I didn't really know how I'd make a business or career out of music. So it wasn't that for me with the law. It was like, okay, this is cool. This is good to know, but I can't see myself doing this for the next 50 years of my life as my job. So why am I going to spend 4 years studying it just to say, oh yeah, I got my LLB and I'm qualified. But then in those 4 years, maybe I could have done something else, like started a record label. Right? So I'm somebody who, I'm very moved by what I feel passionately about. Right? So I don't really take too much talking with certain things. If I believe that a certain direction is the right route to go, I'm going to pursue that. Yeah. Right? Because I always look at other people that have created, invented, started, initiated, developed things. And I was like, well, before them, it didn't exist. So somebody had to get up and say, yo, I'm going to be the first person to do it. And if that's the case, then why not me?
Makes sense. And you recognize this from early too. Like,
Yeah, that's good too.
this lawyer thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I rate lawyers. And I mean, in a way, there's a part of me that wish that I'd finished it just to have certain knowledge. It wasn't really about getting a piece of paper, but because of my current career, which is really in finance, I end up doing a lot of legal related stuff and reading a lot of contracts and understanding about contracts and corporate law and finance and stuff. But, you know, we have people that we pay to do those things. So
after you started your family, what was the next step for you?
Just working. My first job as a bellman at Crown Plaza Hotel.
A bellman?
Yeah.
That was your first job?
Yeah.
And how was it?
It was great. I mean, at the time, it was difficult because I worked on shifts. So it was like late night work and stuff. Pay wasn't particularly great. But I had, you know, good people. I got along with the people that I worked for and it was a new opportunity. But most importantly, I learned humility from being in that job. Yeah. So I'm not the guy that like, oh, you know, Daddy sent me and I went and I got like a managerial role at the bank and then I just worked. That wasn't my thing. I just went and I found a job because my dad was like, all right, well, you left school, go find a work. And that's what I could get because I didn't have any qualifications. So I was carrying people's bags at Crown Plaza.
Was there any offers from Dad to, you know, maybe set you up in a better job or better job situation?
No. He was just like, yeah, if you've left school, if you figure it out. right? And not in any malicious way, but he was just like, yo, you need to sort out yourself. I can't make it happen for you.
Yeah.
You're not a baby anymore.
Not a baby anymore. I was married, had a child, had a daughter, my first daughter, Tori. So for me, I had to provide. I had to go to the supermarket and buy food and diapers and those things. So no matter what, it could have been construction, it could have been a garbage man, it don't matter. I was doing it because I had a family that I had to take care of.
Exactly.
Right? So no, nothing in it at all. And then from there, I got introduced to go to an advertising agency to apply for a job. And I did. And I went and I did the interview and I landed the job. And that's how really my career in marketing started. And then I worked in marketing for, 15, nearly 20 years, different roles, from Deputy Director of Tourism, Special Advisor to the Minister, as Head of Marketing at Wisinco, Conversion
Titles,
Development,
I forgot to mention.
Red Stripe.
More slashes.
Worked in advertising, 2 ad agencies, and then I eventually owned my own ad agency. So I spent a lot of time in advertising.
How you got your experience in marketing? Like, you did a course in?
No, street. Just reading books and self-taught in a way, just being mentored by other people.
Right.
Did any of the things that you learned while, street promoting help you in that regard?
Right. So it's funny that you asked that question. I've told this story before, but I'll share it with you. I was on a flight once being interviewed by a journalist. And at that time I was like burning up the road with marketing. I mean, Smirnoff Ice, Guinness, Red Stripe Light, Tanqueray, Ocean Spray, Coca-Cola, water, all of those brands I was managing. And I didn't really stop to think about why I seem to be doing well at it. Because I don't have no degree in marketing, but I love the road. And she asked me, she was like, what do you think is like the key to your success? I was like, first of all, I didn't really think about myself as being successful, right? But she was like, well, you've done X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you think led to that? And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? It's from being a DJ. And literally she was like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean from being a DJ?
Yeah.
And I said this, which I share with people all the time. As a DJ, I'm continually reading a crowd or target market to position a product or service, which is a song,
Right.
to get some sort of buy-in response, which is really, as we'd say, a forward. Right? So I was doing it without really realizing it. So by playing music, you're naturally sort of marketing and selling to people, but you're selling an intangible.
Yeah.
I'm actually selling a vibe. I'm selling an energy. I'm selling an emotion to get people to react. And they react by dancing, by putting their hands in the air, by busting a gunshot, whatever it is. And that's how you connect with people on an emotional level through music.
Bag of fitness make me sick and I fall so sneeze. So what? New year, new gear, but Polo still a wear. New clothes get up here. Tell me so we not get nowhere. Mommy tell me from a look of youth, so I never to hear. No, I'm a want, so I can't compare.